Hey guys, this is Shane from the River Paddlers. I'm getting ready to head out on a huge expedition, kayak camping trip to the Yukon River. And with that inspired another gear loadout video. This one is specifically for long trips. This trip is expected to be 12 to 14 days on the water. And in that trip, we're only going to have one opportunity that is not in the middle of the wilderness, where we'll have an opportunity to kind of stock up if we want, or grab lunch or dinner at a restaurant or something like that. But besides that, this trip is entirely wilderness, so we have to be able and be ready to deal with all the elements and everything, and have everything with us out there on the river. So I want to do a gear loadout video for a long trip, which I have made specifically for this Yukon River trip. So looking at my boat here, fully loaded right now, ready to go. I'm gonna unravel it for you and show you what I got in it. One thing that you will notice right on is it looks a little top heavy. It does, I'm not gonna lie, but I'm gonna explain to you what that's all about. I want to make sure I have everything I need with me on the river. And if for some reason I am a little top heavy, I have a plan to kind of shed some of that weight. So starting with the back of the boat over here, I have a 50-liter dry bag on top of the boat. I have my solar charger, I have my spare paddle, and I also have a little dry bag in there, so I'm able to charge devices on the river through the solar charger as I'm paddling. So in this dry bag, this is all of my food for 16 plus days worth of food. I got a couple extra days in there, got all the food I could possibly need. I got my camera mount back here that records from the back. Right up here, I have the solar charger connected right up front. I also have a loose cable going around the solar charger right there. So I am using a 40-watt flexible solar charger. I have never used this before. I don't know how it's going to work. And because I'm shooting for a YouTube channel, you're going to see I have a ton of power banks as well. The power banks won't be near enough energy to get me through the trip. So I'm hoping between the two, I will have enough juice. So this little dry bag is under here. So the solar charger can actually, I can put a battery pack in here to charge as I'm on the river. Have it all connected together. Nothing's going to go away. So I talk about being top heavy potentially. I think I'm okay. You just want to make sure if you're going to do this, you have your bags on this boat really secure, and this thing doesn't move at all. I have the paddles down here kind of holding it in place, and then I have it strapped down very well as well. I have a strap on the back here. It connected to a carabiner right there, and to a carabiner in the front. So I have 3 connections on this thing. It shouldn't be going anywhere. This is a 50-liter dry bag, and inside this dry bag I have a 30-liter Yursak with my food in it and a Yursak. It is a bear proof bag that is flexible. It's not odor proof, so to compensate for that, I will also have my food in odor proof bags inside the bear bag. So next we are going to move on to the cockpit of this kayak and what I have in the cockpit with me. I've got my life vest, and inside my life vest I have my extra SD cards. I've got a whistle, it's got a compass on it, it's got a thermometer on it, fire starter little kit that's got some stuff in there. I've got a lighter, and somewhere down here I also have a pocket knife. That's inside my life jacket. I've got my thermos from the Yukon Outfitters, pretty fitting for the trip. Got my new sticker on it too. Got my Seal Sneak spray skirt. Got my little saw, This thing's been through a number of trips. It's been good for me. Why change? Got a sponge, my seat back, a throw rope, my high back chair, my table. This is where I put my tent poles. That is also a difference from the last video. This trip is required, it is necessary to sleep out of tents instead of hammocks. My tent stakes. I got one thing that is not in this boat that is very important that I would have in the cockpit with me, but we're a little worried about taking it across the border, so it is not going in the boat. We're going to hope to purchase it in Canada, and that is bear spray. Super important on a trip like this. Just know it will be in the boat with me, but it is not traveling with me. So moving on now to the front top of the boat. Once again, keep in mind I have a lot of extra stuff because I am recording for this YouTube channel. On top of the front, I have 2 deck bags. One is a huge waterproof deck bag. I'm not sure how big it is. It's pretty big though. And the other one is just sort of a regular deck bag that I usually use on my trips. I have it up there as well. So let's go through the big one first. So once again, just like the front, I have this very secure. I have 2 bungees going through this, and they are securely snug, and they're both going to fasteners on the boat. I have that, and I also have it connected via carabiner also. So this has 3 connections. This other one, 2 ropes here connected, because you never know when you're gonna need rope. I have this one also connected up here, and this one connected at the front. This one's not near as heavy. It just doesn't have a lot to it, so it's connected well, but it's not tight because I just don't think it needs to be, quite honestly. Up here I also have, don't take this on trips all the time, but going through a big lake, it is important. I have my bilge here connected. So some of what I have set up in this bag is interchangeable, and I may change it around once I start the trip, after I'm going, if something just makes more sense. But this is how I have it for now. Headlamp, sunglasses. I have gloves and pogies in here because the weather for the Yukon this time of year is gonna be unpredictable, and it can be beautiful or it can be chilly, miserable, wet mess. Sunscreen. I'm also gonna have bug spray. I just don't have it yet. My trusty hat, my waterproof beanie, fire starters, a guidebook while I'm on the river to use if I need. With that book, I have my Garmin 66i InReach device here. So this is my GPS InReach, my texting method, my communication, all that. So this won't be in that bag, it will be in the cockpit. First aid kit. And we also have a lot of other first aid stuff that other people will be carrying as well. This is where it's going to get a little weird for you. I got dish soap and sponges. Don't usually take this stuff on trips. Wet ones, have these in a few different places. I have just purchased a drone I am currently learning how to use. The drone will be in there. That bag is 100% waterproof. At the bottom, I have my fire maple cooking pot. Will be in there with all its stuff inside the pot. I also have more of a thicker, wider pot that I'll be using as well. Will be in that bag. In this little waterproof dry box right here, I put some of my spare batteries for the river. So for my recording for this trip, just to throw it out there, I will have a camera at the back. This is sort of my back camera. Off to the side. I use it in my kayak camping trips. You can look in and see kind of how I utilize that. I also have 2 cameras at the front, both GoPros, one looking at me so it catches what I say, and one pointed downstream at the river. I will be utilizing all of that with the drone as well. With this deck bag, I like to keep extra carabiners just attached to the top of it. I'll probably have some more I'll put before the trip. Inside, trash bags. Now you can put this stuff, this is just stuff I take. You can take this, take other stuff, put it wherever you want, whatever works for you in your boat. Spatula. This video, one of the biggest things I got was, why are you not filtering your water? Well, for this trip, I will be filtering as much as I can. There are areas you don't want to filter. We want to mainly filter inside creeks because the silt levels in the Yukon itself are very high, which is just going to clog up the filters. So I do have my water filtration, and I have wet ones everywhere. Pot holder, measuring cups, lighters, my silverware, a stove, because my fire maple can't cook like a cooktop. So on the fire maple, can't cook on the cooktop. So I have another stove, and for this stove, just to cook like pancakes and stuff like that, I'll be using a regular skillet, which I've got right here. Came right from my own kitchen, folks. So the reason I am keeping all of like my water filtration and all of my food and all of my cooking stuff on the top of the boat is so it's accessible. So it's super easy to get to when we stop for lunches, or if I just want a snack or whatever. It's right there, easy to get to, and that's really the main reason I kind of designed it all to be on top of the boat. To the bulkheads. This strap here holds my paddle in, and it's also what I do another connection for my food to. So first step, looking in here, it's pretty full, but I actually have room in here. I have space here, and I did this on both bulkheads by design, and the reason I did it is in case something that I have on top is truly top heavy. In that case, I can fit more stuff in here to lighten up the bag on top. Both the front and back are like that. Or if it's all good and I have no issues, I can put stuff like trash in here. I can move stuff around. I really do whatever. So let's kind of get in to what I have in here. I have paracord, camp lights, a bug suit. Yes, this is a bug suit. This is a 10-liter dry bag, and this includes my tent and my footprint for my tent. I'm not going to take it all out of there, but that's what's in there. I was able to pack it down better in a dry bag than in what it actually comes in. My dry box, this will have my wallet in it. This will have extra batteries in it. This will have some random cords in it. Just stuff I really don't want to get wet. It's going to be in this 20-liter dry bag. This includes my overquilt. Some guys are taking a regular sleeping bag, but the overquilt, the way that it kind of goes together and around you, it's just like a sleeping bag. And I also have another lightweight blanket in there. This is my clothes in this 15-liter dry bag. Now you're probably thinking, hell, that's a lot of clothes to take on a trip. I really don't have that much in here. I have a shirt to sleep in. I think I have one spare short sleeve shirt, maybe two. I have one long sleeve shirt. I have socks, and I have also 2 rain jackets in here. That's why it takes up so much space. The rain jackets, one of them is very insulated, will keep me really warm. The other one is just a great rain jacket, so I have those in there as well. I have gold panning stuff. I hope to do some gold panning on this trip, so I have that in there. This one, I have my sleeping mat. It's basically like a mattress. I hope it holds up. It's super comfortable. My plan sort of is if it weren't to hold up, I'd be sleeping on my coats. So yeah, I have my homemade toilet in here. I have a video on it, which you can see what that's all about. I have shoes in this one. I have just generic camp shoes. These are so I can get my wet shoes off and be comfortable. I'm going to be taking my Crocs, and the main plan is to wear my Crocs, but I have my Astral water shoes as well as kind of a backup. So how I have this packed in the bulkhead, if the bulkhead were to get wet, the Astral shoes will get wet, but my camp shoes will not, because I have the Astral shoes on the bottom and the camp shoes on top. So, and I have them wrapped in a plastic bag. Everything I have in this boat, where I have it, how I have it, is for a reason. Packed in here in this bag is my dry suit. The weather on the Yukon is so unpredictable. It's just important to have this as an option. And this just takes up a lot of room, even getting it down pretty small. But it's just important to have, if not a dry suit, at least a dry top or something to that effect. Is the tools I will have on my trip. I've actually cut it down a little bit. I have duct tape. I've had issues with my rudder before and have learned that I've been always able to fix it with duct tape. So I have a good pair of pliers, zip ties. I have a patch kit in case my mattress were to spring a leak. I should be able to fix it. So looking inside this bulkhead, just like the back, I have a good bit of spare room. One thing you'll notice, first off on top here, I have a ton of battery packs. Is it overkill? Probably, but I want to make sure I can record and I don't have issues, because I don't know how well the solar charger is going to work. So I've actually got 7 in here. 2 of them are solar rechargeables as well. They are, I think they're 30,000 mAh. I have 2 here that are like 35,000 mAhs, and then I have 3 that are 10,000 ones. The ones that are above 20,000 will not recharge in my solar charger. So I found that out as I was testing my solar charger. Then I read about it as well. But I have 3 10,000s. Those are the ones that I'm going to be recharging on there. I'm also going to be recharging, my batteries and stuff like that directly from the solar charger. This bag still has plenty of room. It's super empty. I'm tempted to not even take this dry bag, but for right now I still have it packed. I have this is a microfiber towel. This is like a tent footprint to put outside the tent. And this is an actual good washcloth, or hand towel, I guess it is. Just so I have a normal towel with me. The one main water I am taking is a Deer Park water like this. This is what I'll start the trip with, and this is what I will filter water into for use. I may also buy just a couple water bottles I'll have in the cockpit with me, but nothing crazy. This is mainly going to be what I'll put my water in. This 10-liter dry bag, this is all of my hygiene stuff. So, I got my glasses, I got my contacts, I got my some more wet ones in here. I've got toilet paper, I've got toothpaste, toothbrush, I've got soaps in here. All that kind of hygiene stuff is in here. This is a filled and stream dry bag, and honestly it doesn't work very good, but the stuff in here doesn't have to be kept dry necessarily. This is a miscellaneous bag, and some of this stuff isn't going to be in here when the trip actually starts. Paper towels, tissues. I have a thermocell with 3 cartridges here. Should give me about 6 to 7 hours per night that I can use this thing, the actual thermocell. I have 3 walkie-talkies that I'm going to be taking on this trip. They all have good battery levels right now, and I have backup batteries for each one time over. So these batteries are supposed to last pretty long, so I think we'll be all right. But walkie-talkies communication on a trip of this magnitude is a pretty big deal. I also have This is a shovel. This is just a multi-tool thing. Can do so many different things. I'm not even gonna bring it out. It does a lot of different things. Just good to have on a long trip, because you just don't know, what you're gonna come across, what you might need it for. So there you go. The last thing I have packed, this is a mid-sized tarp. This is smaller than my Kelty, but bigger than my really small backpacking tent I have, backpacking tarp I have. So I'm bringing this in case, I want to build a shelter, a little communal shelter. If for some reason my tent were to leak, I could put this over it. It's just, this is one of those things that you may overlook because you're using a tent, but I think it's important to have, because if you have a tarp, there's so much you can do with a tarp. So it's just good to have. So that sums it up. This is everything I got packed for a long kayak camping trip. Like I said, I packed specifically for a 12 to 14 day trip here. I know that I went overboard. I know I packed heavy. There's so many things you could cut out of it altogether. But hey, I'm gonna be on the water 12 to 14 days. I wanna be comfortable. So if there's a way I can make that happen, then I made it happen. There are things that I took out of this boat that I just don't have room for. For instance, a hammock. I'd like to have a hammock. Not taking one, just don't have room for it. Bear spray is something that I'm gonna make sure I have when I get there. Just not comfortable crossing the border with that. And so I'm recording for this YouTube channel, so I've got 3 GoPros, so many battery packs, a solar charger. If you're going on this solo and all you're charging is your cell phone, or a GPS, you probably just need a couple of these things. But I am charging a drone, I'm charging 3 GoPro cameras, I am charging a cell phone, I am charging a GPS. I probably left something out. But I'm just charging so many things for this trip. I'm gonna need so much energy, and like I said, I'm just hesitant because I haven't used that solar panel yet, so I just don't know how well it's gonna work. And that's why I have the overkill on the battery storage there. So this is what I got. I hope this is helpful, and thank you everyone for watching. Please like and subscribe, it really helps out a ton.